And here we are, home for the next 24 hours. What an absolute spot this is. So I was lurking about the woods the other day looking for a new spot just like this. So I thought it'd be a good shout to venture out without my pack and stuff days before the camp. And it's constantly been dense woodland. And then he stumbles across this little shelter I peep, riverside pitches. Oh, let's have a skeg then. I mean, this is mega, isn't it? Little chair, little bushcraft. Oh mate, this is sick. Little fire pit. I would be tempted to do my own thing though, because I've got my tar. Well, that is Saturday sorted then, but now I need to find a way back to the van, because what I've just done is a mission and a half, and I don't fancy that with 20 odd kilos. It's probably going to be more. It's only like 25 kilos, because I'm bringing the kitchen sink with me for this one. Oh. I'm pleased to get that off my back. This is home for 24 hours, mate. So welcome, let's be neighbours. So my thought process is, so although that bushcraft shelter over there does look tempting, I am going to try out my new DD tarp. I've got a new colour, I'm very excited. Yes, I'm a child. And I found this spot right by the river, quite literally. So if I roll out of bed, cold plunge to start the day off here. Because it's a different styled camp, this one. So what I'm doing is I'm having like a camp bed and a tarp, sack the tent off, and I be in it. Do you know what I mean? Not even a bug net, mate. I'm a big boy now. I'm petrified of spiders. And I said to myself the other day, you're not having a bug net, lad. You're a big boy now. You're a grown man. Come on, don't be so pathetic. So not allowed a bug net today, sunshine. Not allowed one. Right, scrap what I said. Found this spot a little bit further down the way. Not too far, like, but more space, flatter space. It's going to be more ideal for a tarp setup, because I'm not sure how big this configuration is actually going to be. So the more space, the better. Don't cut yourself short, Jordan. Come on. So this is the beauty I'm talking about. Another DD tarp. I've got the camo one, but I just wanted something a little bit more plain, a little bit more clean. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's nice, that, isn't it? It'll blend in quite nicely as well, won't it, with the surrounding. And when I said I was packing the kitchen sink, I wasn't joking, mate. I had a right mare trying to fit everything in. Luxury galore, this camp, but because it's local, it's only like a 20-minute hike at best. I thought, why not? Because normally I'm in the fells of the Lake District or whatnot, or Scotland if I'm so lucky. And if you've done it, you know you're packing as light as possible, because it is a nightmare lugging that up a mountain and back down. Right, if we're going to do this properly, boys, all the gear, no idea. Let's be having knife on the side of me, in my little holster, my little, what you call it? Definitely not called a holster, it's a sheath, innit? But you know where I was. You were with me, weren't you? Right, what this is trial and error. So originally I was thinking plough point to one of these trees, but then that means it'll be open to the woods. Now I want the opening to be towards the river, just to be more enclosed, more cosy, and also just so the view is solely the river. So that being said, ideally I'm thinking the tarp. Shall I just show you? I actually really want to have a go at doing some like wooden bushcraft tent pegs, but just for getting the shelter up and figuring out what the setup's going to be today, I'm just going to use these metal ones that have come with the tarp. And we can always swap them out later on, can't we? Right, I don't want to speak too soon, but the idea is bring this through here. I might have to clear these few branches, to be fair, but then bring it to this tree, and then we will have a shelter. There will be some more height, I hope, but I'll have to guy it out using them tags. Right, so there's a bit of tension on her. So let's go over there and fettle her up a bit, shall we? Right, a bit of a better view of what's kicking off, isn't there, here? So what I'm thinking is, yeah, that's not exactly what I was thinking, to be honest with you. Like I was saying earlier, learning curve. Right, so without lobbing any digits off, idea is get this one naked, get rid of all these little off bits, these little branches, and that'll work, hopefully, as a bit of a joist to lift the tarp up a bit more. Right. What's come off there? Peg. What are we saying? I'm quite happy with that, actually. That is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be, which makes me very happy. Let's move some bits in and call it home. I'm going to set bed up. And what I've actually got for tonight's sleeping system is a camp bed that I got for, I believe, 50p at a car boot sale. I've used it once and it was decent. But I'm actually glad, because I was meant to camp on Saturday, but then I realised family were off, so I called it, and this is now Wednesday. And I'm glad I did, because it's warmed up considerably. Like, it was -3 or something when I was planning on Saturday, and like today it goes up to 8 degrees. Tonight it will get down to maybe 0, like early hours, but I'll be tucked away anyway. Get in. Well, I forgot how hard that was to put together, and that's exactly why whoever flogged it to me at the car boot flogged it for 50p. pain in the backside. Let's have a little test. Imagine if it rips now, that'll be a laugh, won't it? It'll be sleeping on floor. Oh, do you know, it's pretty comfy though. Right, it's time to get some wood together. So this, if I believe, is called dead standing, because obviously it's standing. It's also dead. Now, yeah, it's still attached to the ground, so correct me if I'm wrong, please don't shoot me. But it's rotten at the root, it's leaning like a good one, there's no growth on it. So I'm going to call that dead standing. Like I said, please get me in the comments if I'm wrong, because I do want to learn. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's dead. And we're off. I tell you what, that cuts through it like butter. That's my granddad's saw in his garage, asked to borrow it. He's given me it. It's a lot better than the one I currently use, which is like, I believe it's titled Ray Mears Pruning Bushcraft Saw on eBay for like 15 quid. It's good, it's nimble, it's easy to put in the pack, unlike this, but oh, that was nice and easy, that. Let's get this back to camp. Oh my God, I didn't actually realise how tall it was. Jeez Louise. Geronimo! Oh, it smells banging, doesn't it? Is it just me, or the smell of wood when you're cutting it? Very good, very nice. Can't for the life of me cut this log straight for some reason. Yeah, it like leans to the left. I don't understand what that's all about with this. Right, well, some time has passed. I've collected a bit of wood, processed it, and now I've had an idea. Hear me out. Firewall from these two trees by the side of the tarp. Gonna give me a bit of privacy from all the wildlife and everyone else that's out here, and then just also bounce that heat back into the tarp. That's my idea, and it's going to look cool for that Instagram picture. So let's get it shaved off and get some points on this. Oh, that's a bit rotten, isn't it? Oh dear, not sure if that's going to do the job, to be honest. And I'll tell you something else for free, I am absolutely ravenous, but I haven't brought any gas because, well, we're going to do it the old-fashioned way, and that means no gas. Fires only, so we better get fire going, haven't we, instead of faffing about with a firewall. But that's Jordan for you. I mean, ideally they would all be the length of the base one, but you know. So what I might do is I might just bosh another stake in there. Oh, nothing's ever simple in this life. I don't know if the mic's picking that up, but the birds are singing, and that is beautiful, isn't it? And at the end of the day, this is what life's all about, innit? You know, finding something that genuinely brings you enjoyment, peace, or happiness to enjoy the passage of time of life. I mean, Jimmy Carr, I think it is. Jimmy Carr? Is it Jimmy Carr? He said it, innit? The meaning of life is to enjoy the passage of time. I'm enjoying passage of time, me lads. That being said, I think I might have said it in a previous video, but I've always struggled with being present, and that's what I'm trying to do this year. While I enjoy the passage of time, enjoy the actual moment in time that you're in, and not just thinking of what's to come and what's to be done. Do you know what I mean? Can't be on my own with that. There's an app, isn't there? It's like Shazam, but for bird song, so you can like listen to it and it'll tell you what bird's chirping off. I think that's quite a good shout. I'm not really into bird watching around, but I can appreciate a chirpy bird when I hear one. Still do me nice. That's what I was doing earlier, by the way. I've just done it then. I had saw wrong way around, but there's like two handles that you could confuse as a handle. So hear me out. Easy mistake, but turns out if you switch it round, oh, slices like butter, mate. Look at that. Bosh. Look at sun beaming through the trees as well. That's lovely, that, isn't it? That's the thing as well, isn't it, with daylight? I'm chasing it this time of year, so although I'm ravenous, I'd rather just crack on doing these sort of bits and bobs so I can chill tonight. It's going to get dark at what, 4 p.m. I think it is. But it means food will have to wait, sweetheart. Sorry, stomach. I mean, it is actually grumbling at this point. Anyone start a charity for me or something? Anyone feeling sorry? Didn't think so. Final piece of the puzzle then, lads and lasses. Oh, we're happy with that, aren't we? I mean, there's a bit of a gaff. Hang on. Ah, it's because of that. This is why you need to do your trimmings, mate. This might need tidying up. What we're saying, just cut down here, do you know what I mean? Just to actually do it in line with a leaning tree. That'll look cool, wouldn't it? There's definitely a cracking noise there. That wasn't ideal. It's all right. Now a bit of paracord, what sort? It's the equivalent of sellotape, innit? Slap that on anything, it'll be fixed, it'll be reet. And then I just thought, hang on a minute, if I guy that up there, that opens it up even more. So we're going to do that. And then I'm thinking of having a go at them bushcraft pegs, because these metal ones just keep popping out. Like I said earlier, the ground's so soft, it's a nightmare. And I don't want tarp falling down in the middle of the night, do we? No, we don't. Like so. And then with the other end, what I've seen is you just sort of take the sides off. So when you're hammering it in, it's less likely to split the wood. There's the first one of 3. Pretty happy with that. It's kind of cool, doesn't it? I've just remembered something I should have done. It'll be fine. But what you should do is using your knife, cut a cross in and take out 3 of the pieces, leaving the top one, which basically works as like a hook that the guy light will sit underneath. Well, it turns out I'm a complete muppet. At least I hope I am, because if it's not in the van, then I don't know where my mess kit is, because I've just unpacked a bag. It's not in there. I wanted to boil some water and have a brew. And I think I've gone the wrong way. Oh, here we go. Talking about chasing daylight and that, and then I go and do something like this. What's a silly Billy? The moment of truth. There it is. What an absolute faff today's turning out to be. Got a right sweat on. Look at day on it. You wouldn't think it was like -degrees like the last couple of days. Anyway, back down this steepy. I'd rather go down it than up it at this point. There's a bit of an issue here because I wanted to be authentic. I wanted to rein in these bushcraft skills of fire making, but I'm not making it up. I've literally somehow left my Thera rod at home, so it's going to go back to the modern day lighter and some fire lighters. I know, shameful. I'm absolutely ravenous. You know when you get to the stage where you're not even hungry anymore, but you've just got a headache? I'm a muppet. I do it all the time, whether I'm hiking or whatever. Like, I just sort of get focused on sort of getting A to B or doing whatever needs to do around camp, whatever, and then I just sort of disregard that I'm human and I need scran. So, but it just means that this scran that I'm about to cook is going to taste even better, doesn't it? So who's daft, really? Eh? Well, I just thought, while that was getting some embers going and starting off, we'll neaten this up like I promised. Right, so I've done 3 jacket potatoes. Now I've got a decent appetite, probably won't eat 3 though, but I just thought, first time doing it, so if 1 or 2 get scuppered, at least I've got a higher chance of actually eating a tatty, basically. So pot's a bit overkill for just me, granted, but looks cool. Very rarely get to use this tripod setup, so it is what it is. Imagine if I just took a chunk out of it now. Some people, do you know a funny story, right, of grim raw meat eating? My nan, when she was younger, she used to go to a butcher's, and on the way home on a bicycle, she used to suck the pork out of the sausage raw, so it was just left with skin. That's foul, isn't it? Don't even want this scran now. Sorry, Shirl. Done you dirty there, throwing you right under the bus. We all do things we aren't proud of. Do you know, I'm really looking forward to this. I can't remember the last camp that I had proper scran like this. Like, I'm usually in the mountains, meaning super noodles, pot noodles, dehydrated meals. That is your best friend. You're not doing any of this. It's just not feasible. So yeah, it's nice to get down in the woodland now and then and actually have some proper scran. So I actually bought myself a lantern, you know, proper like looking like Hagrid walking through the woods kind of lantern that you see like a lot of the bushcraft lot use. Anyway, it hasn't come in time, shock horror. But what's worth having is worth waiting for, or something like that, I guess. Right, moment of truth. Oh, is it Christmas again? Yeah. You know, I never understood it. Your mum makes you your tea when you're a kid, doesn't she? And she's like, oh, do you know, I don't fancy it myself now after slaving over it all the time. I'm thinking, what are you on about? You must have built up a right appetite doing all that. I'm kind of feeling like that. I'm just not that bothered now. Weird, isn't it? Like I said, you get past being hungry, don't you? But I know as soon as I tuck into this, I'll be like, what are you talking about? This is delicious. Oh, she's looking well, isn't she? I'm really happy with that. I mean, ignore that side, but this side, very nice. So we've got some semi-dried tomatoes and garlic and herb, some feta cheese and olives, and obviously some coleslaw. Well, you wouldn't think there's room. Let me show you. Come here, my love. Well, that's tea scran, dish is washed, and it's time for a brew, I think. Don't know if you saw, but I'm absolutely gutted. I went to wash the dishes. First dip with a sponge, and the sponge went with a river. And I hate that, because obviously it's not good for the environment, but genuine mistake. I was gutted because obviously my pots aren't as well scrubbed either. clear sky tonight. I can see the stars twinkling. But yeah, going back to that whole passage of time and enjoying it, I think that's why it's so important to find a hobby. Like, I know people who have literally never had a hobby and never probably will, and they're very much happy with that. I'd just be very bored if that was the case for me. Like, I've always had to have something that I like go dive straight into 110%, and then more than often burn out from because of it. So, you know, the whole balancing act isn't my strong suit. But like, it used to be mixed martial arts. Then I got into the gym and found powerlifting. Never had heard of it. Got right into that. Then came away from that, lost a load of weight that I'd gained from the powerlifting and did some natural bodybuilding. And then last year is when I'm still doing it to a degree, like the weights at least, but I took a step back and got very much into like the hiking and wild camping like I'm doing right now. And then on the side of that, have started doing a bit of trail running as well, just running through the woods and whatnot. Not quite up in the fells yet, but running on trail rather than tarmac is definitely my preference. It just feels better on the knees. I'm 30 at the end of the day. I'm getting old now. I've got to think about the joints, mate. I've done the powerlifting. That's battered them, no doubt. So think wise, mate. What's that saying? Train smart as well as hard, something like that. But no, I'm enjoying the running, and that's something I thought I would never say. Never had any interest in it until like the back end of last year, and thoroughly enjoying it now. It's the gym now that I'm like struggling to sort of keep the ball rolling with. Right, so I'm just setting bed up because it's dropped significantly, so I'm getting a bit nippy. So I thought, might as well just chill in bed, haven't I? So let's talk sleeping systems. So we've got the camp bed, so I'm elevated off the floor by a bit. Got the foil mat, just sort of radiate some of that body heat back at me. A 3-season military snug pack sleeping bag. And then obviously my new wool blanket, which is my first night with it. A little experiment I'm doing. So it's currently 4 degrees out and about in this woodland. Now to see what it's actually in camp. That's interesting. 1.4 degrees warmer in an open tarp setup with a fire and a firewall. Probably more the fire, let's be honest. But still, just shows, even though it's open to the elements still, you can still contain a little bit of heat. Morning. It's 20 past 8. 0.9 degrees. It's been a cold one, I'm not going to lie. I woke up a few times. Still a decent sleep all in all. Really nice listening to the river. But yeah, it was cold. Like, my feet are numb now. But pillow didn't slide off, which is a good thing. But I did it. No bug net, mate. Big boy, grown up. I did have my puffer jacket over there. Why I didn't just get up and put it on, I was just lazy. Couldn't be bothered. You know, even though you're cold, you're still not as cold as unzipping your sleeping bag and getting out. And that's us squared away. So I've left no trace of the fire pit. Yes, the firewall is staying. My argument there is this is very much out of the way of any footpath. So I doubt many people, if anyone, will come down here, other than the bushcraft lads over there with their shelter. But I will be coming back to use this. So that's my argument. But anyhow, that's us. I'll see you next time. Ta-ra.